What if it's not the same? Hi guys, welcome back. I am really excited to be back, but this time we're gonna be keeping it fiction. Do I really need an excuse to be up here? Okay, we have a lot of material to cover, so we have to get started immediately. This video is going to be a little bit different, as you guys can already tell. And if you can't, well then, bye. Okay, so it's definitely different. I wanted to come up here because I finished reading Madame Bovary and I wanted to tell you guys what I thought about
Gustave Flaubert's
literary style. This was a very interesting read, to say the least, but we're actually going to get into depth. So I got this book in Louisiana. This was my purchase. I actually got this at William Faulkner's house and I finally got to reading it. I was interrupted while reading it because I was working. I went to Louisiana 2 summers ago. This book was a lot different than all of my other reads. He was an American. Gustave Flaubert was actually a French novelist from centuries ago. And I think that has a lot to do with Flaubert's writing style. Madame Bovary is a very controversial writing piece because some might call it trashy fiction, but to others this is adequate representation of what life is like. So I read the book and I watched the movie. It was a very long movie. I attempted to watch it like 3 times without falling asleep. And like any other book that has been turned into a movie, there are different adaptation, translation, or interpretation depending on whoever is the director. The tempo, I want to say the tempo of the book starts off with a high beat and then it drops. What's interesting is that we usually like when the beat drops in a song, but in this case, the drop feels boring, lame. Like, okay, what's next? Spoiler alert, she gets married to this doctor, gets bored and starts living in the Lululand, and at the end, she kills herself and leaves him in ruins. It's a lot. Definitely not what I was expecting when I bought it, which is also something that the book talks about. Basically, Gustave Flaubert is warning women to be careful with what you read. Emma would read romance novels, and because her married life wasn't the way it was in the books, she thought that she didn't have a good life, and that led her to do all the things that she did. I was just looking at the pretty pink cover. So I definitely judged the book by its cover, not realizing that this book was going to be a lot more intense than, you know, the pretty cover. I want to say that the rhythm or the tempo of this book is, remember, this is still S by S. So if you want to have an opinion about Gustave Flaubert's Madame Bovary, go ahead and create your own channel so we can talk about it in a polite manner and intellectually. Anyways, I feel like this started off very fast. So she gets married immediately. So the best way that I can describe this is that it begins up here and then it quickly drops. He has a very interesting wavelength of writing because at the beginning I was captivated, I was very interested, and then after she gets married I am like bored and falling asleep. However, all of that is intentional because it could be a very good representation of marriage. This book is very intense, like I mentioned, so just adults, please. Kids, leave the chat. But yeah, so basically she gets married to this doctor. She is bored in her married life, finds a lover or 2, and then she starts spending money, which is what leads her ultimately to commit suicide and leave her husband in ruins financially and emotionally. So the movie, I don't think, does justice to Gustave's writing because The movie focuses more on the adultery part, and at the end, it just ends with her death. Whereas in the book, not only does it talk about her death, but it also shows the aftermath. So I was thinking about other movies and other books that talk about marriage. So I thought about Gone with the Wind is actually an American novel that was also turned into a movie. I have not read the novel, but I did watch the movie, which is another super long movie. The setting takes place in the South. That's another controversial book, but it's actually Americans' second favorite book after the Bible. That's when I thought to myself, what does the Bible say about marriage, and what have other authors have said about marriage? I thought about Their Eyes Were Watching God, Sex and the City, the movie part 2. I thought about Couples Retreat. So the reason why I am juxtaposing Madame Bovary and Gone with the Wind is because both of these women live in the Lululand. So for example, Scarlett in Gone with the Wind, because of the love that she thought that she had for her lover, she's able to take care of his wife and be the friend that she actually needed. And also because it's another controversial time period, the message. However, living in the Lululand is what leads these women to either commit adultery, suicide, murder, and all the good, because something good always comes out of everything. I was supposed to film this in Oklahoma and I didn't. Now I am here. I think that's all, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hunting for an OU shirt. Not sure if I'm gonna find it. And my hair is doing this crazy thing, but I kind of like it.